My name's Mike Chang, and I'll be your guide through the VTC tutorials for the Ubuntu Certified Professional exam. This video provides an overview of what you need to do to become an Ubuntu Certified Professional. By the way, the UCP exam is affiliated with the Linux Professional Institute and complements their Level 1 exams. In other words, to become an Ubuntu Certified Professional, you'll need to also pass both LPI Level 1 exams. That means to get the UCP certification, you need to pass 3 exams: LPIC Level 1's exams 101 and 102, as well as the UCP exam covered in this course, also known as LPI-199. VTC already has an excellent course for the other LPI Level 1 exams, so refer to the Linux Professional Institute Level 1 course for more information. The UCP course here is based on the publicly available Ubuntu curriculum for the UCP exam, as shown here. If you don't have enough experience, you may have to practice between tutorials. If you're new to Linux, this course will not be enough. The Linux Professional Institute and Ubuntu suggest that you need years of practical experience in order to pass these exams and to make it as a Linux professional. We do not use brain dumps in this course. What we use is based on the noted certification course outlines. Navigate to the UCP course outline at the URL shown here. Look it over. Study it. It's what you're going to be tested on. Thank you, and the next video will serve as an overview of the UCP curriculum. Now it's time for an overview of the requirements associated with the Ubuntu Certified Professional exam. As described in the previous video, the UCP curriculum is publicly available at the URL shown here. Read it over carefully. These are the points which are fair game on the UCP exam. You'll notice that the curriculum is split into 5 major topics. Starting with Topic 121, the Ubuntu community. You'll notice that this topic seems non-technical in a number of ways. For example, you will need to know something about the history of Ubuntu releases, the options available for help, the resources you can use to get help, how bug reports really work, as well as how Ubuntu organizes software packages into repositories. Topic 122. Perform an installation. That's a pretty straightforward topic. In the accompanying videos, I'll demonstrate the installation of Ubuntu Linux, specifically the Hardy Heron release. People who really know installation will also understand supported hardware, as well as Ubuntu's strength with terminal servers, based on the work of the Linux Terminal Server project. Topic 123, Routine Administration. It's a broad topic. Part of it focuses on updates and repository management. You also need to know how to configure and manage printers, how to set up locales and the accompanying human languages, and set up security for local file systems. Topic 124 addresses networking and network services. It describes how you can configure a system as a client on a NIS, an LDAP, as well as a Samba-based network. In this topic, you'll also see how to configure network interfaces, how you can set up network profiles, as well as how you can create shared network directories. Topic 125 is focused on the default desktop environment for Ubuntu Linux, GNOME. During the videos for this topic, you'll learn basic configuration of GNOME. You'll learn about the GNOME Display Manager. And you'll learn how to manage GNOME screen features and fonts. The final part of this topic is focused on the Evolution Personal Information Management Client, which is the Linux alternative to Microsoft Outlook. The current Ubuntu Linux exam is evolving. I base this tutorial on the Hardy Heron release, the Ubuntu Linux distribution, released with long-term support in April of 2008. You can download Hardy Heron or the latest Ubuntu release from the URL shown here. And this is a good opportunity to do so if you don't already have the CD or DVD. In this video, we review the minimum system requirements for Ubuntu Linux. The Hardy Heron build, released in April of 2008. These minimum requirements may seem trivial until you consider the number of installations being created on virtual machines. For example, if you have 8 GB of RAM on a server, that may seem like a lot until your boss tells you to configure 32 virtual machines on that server. The minimum hardware requirement for installation in text mode, and that's just the installation, is 32 megabytes. But more is required for practical use of the actual operating system. I prefer at least 64 megabytes on systems without the GUI. But as the UCP, the Ubuntu Certified Professional exam, covers the GNOME desktop environment, you'll install that GUI on your test system. And for that purpose, I prefer to have at least 256 megabytes of RAM. As for hard drive space, you generally should have at least 4 gigabytes of hard drive space available. But that isn't a hard and fast rule. For example, the Ubuntu Juice build, spelled JEOS, is a specialized build. JEOS stands for Just Enough Operating System, and it can easily fit in a hard drive of less than a gigabyte. But that's a specialized build customized for virtual machines. For this course, I've created an Ubuntu Linux system on a VMware server machine. Available from www.vmware.com, VMware Server is, in my opinion, the best option for this course. When I prepare for certification exams, I use VMware Server. It supports relatively easy installations of various operating systems, including Ubuntu Linux, on various Linux distributions, as well as on Microsoft Windows. VMware Server supports snapshots. In other words, if I change too many things and can't remember what I did, I can easily restore the original configuration through the snapshot. But of course, there are alternatives to VMware Server. One example on Macintosh systems is known as Parallels, and they've also released versions for Windows and for Linux. One system that takes advantage of the multi-core CPUs that are coming out is the kernel-based virtual machine, also known as KVM. But not all systems have suitable CPUs or suitable hardware, so be careful. Specifically, you need hardware which supports full virtualization. KVM is functionally similar to Xen, which you may or may not have heard of, but that's not critical for the exam. The VirtualBox system from Sun Microsystems is also available from the Ubuntu Universe repository. It's the open source edition of VirtualBox, and it's functionally similar to VMware. I like that option as well.